And he and Bert did a basketball dunking challenge because they're idiots, midlife fat idiots. And my husband broke his arm and his leg.
Subscribe to the podcast, KFC Radio on YouTube.
Bang.
Got water?
Drink and park. Oh, yeah.
Or whiskey, whatever you want.
Are we going to do that?
You want to? You want to, girl?
I don't know.
The kids
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I know. Nah.
I'm sure we got some weed
shows.
floating
I got
around.
two
We got some edibles.
So, where are you guys from originally?
I'm from the Boston area, Fall River, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Just like southern Mass.
Southern Mass.
I'm a New York guy.
Did you grow up in the city?
No. I was born in the Bronx, like on the outskirts, so the Bronx and Westchester. People who grow up in Manhattan are fucking lunatics. Yeah.
Well, we could talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I saw like two 11-year-old
Oh,
kids
yeah.
at Starbucks, and they were like, no eye contact, bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen,
I'm so California. I'm like, hi, everybody.
I've told a story before where like there was one time I was walking home from work and
This story
is so creepy. I should stop telling
the
this
way
story.
you tell this story is so problematic. I know exactly where you're going.
Where it was like, I mean, I swear to God, this kid was 6. Like their backpack was bigger than them. It was a boy, if that makes it better.
Nope. Nope, doesn't.
How dare you gender somebody's child without their consent?
But I like. He was so. I know like the New York kids like just have the run of the whole city. They can do whatever they want at all times. And I was like, even he is borderline too young. Like he might be lost. So I like followed him. And then I realized
That's so creepy.
I followed him like
Following a small boy around the city.
I realized I followed him
With
like
that mustache.
6 blocks past my apartment. And I was like, all right, I'm going home. Whatever's gonna happen to this kid's
You're
gonna
on
happen to
your
this kid.
I'm not that
You go home and check
committed.
the news, and there's some dead kid in the sewer. No, when every day during the school year, at like 2-3 p.m., when school lets out, I like stay off the streets of New York. People say, don't go in the park at night. No, don't go on the streets at 3 p.m. These kids will run your shit. They're all fucking smoking cigs and drinking out of brown bags, and I'm like, you're fucking 11, and they're like, what about it, Whitey? And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, all right, sorry.
Dude, this kid had a full Mad Max haircut, and I was like, "You're bad, dude." Like, and he knew not to even look at anybody. That
My
was the
favorite,
craziest.
we used to work with Asa Akira, who's a porn star.
Love
yeah,
Asa
Asa. Yeah,
Akira.
she's the fucking best.
Yeah.
And she grew up like Manhattan, and I'm pretty sure
my
she
God.
said like I did coke before I
Yeah.
drank.
For sure.
Like they do everything out of order. She's like on Molly and fucking coke before you had a cigarette and stole from your dad's liquor cabinet. It's like
Crazy.
bananas.
Being stone sober the first time you ever do coke, you'd be like, holy shit.
That's a good point. Whoa! I'm like 12. I already have energy. Holy shit!
I think she was sober by the time she was like 17.
Yeah, she went like so hard and then was done.
See, are we rolling?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
we're-
like I think I know it's so much better just to fucking
Yeah,
go.
just go.
I think too, like it's almost better to grow up in a big city like this, like in a war zone. Because I grew up in Los Angeles, so I smoked heroin accidentally when I was like 15 at a party. So then by the time I was in college, I was like, oh,
good to go.
I'm fucking Zima. Who cares? Like I've done it all. So you don't ruin
Well,
your life.
it's like the
How'd you
extreme
smoke heroin
version.
accidentally?
Was it a goth party? I was goth for like a decade, and they just were passing around a thing. And when you're a kid,
Wait,
you're
what a thing?
like a
bong
pie
or like a
Yeah,
pipe,
yeah, yeah.
and I thought maybe it was,
pipe is usually like a bowl or a bong. A
Yeah.
pipe is usually filled with crack. So
yeah.
there was at least one red flag there.
Yeah.
Like a pipe device is a little different, but
I was
yeah.
kind of an idiot.
So and then after the fact, they were like, "That's heroin," or
Yes.
you were like, "Whoa."
No, my stepsister
Yeah.
was like, "We just smoked heroin," and I was like,
And
"No
wait, what age?
shit, 15."
Jesus.
Yeah, so we just
Yeah,
sat on
yeah.
the couch and watched like an Easy Stitch commercial, like a thing, and my mom showed up and pulled us out of the party. It was traumatic.
Were you like
yeah.
rocked, or was it kind of just
It was
like?
raw. I smoked
yeah.
heroin.
Yeah.
It's pretty gnarly.
I don't know how that works, to be honest.
Get you fired up.
until you're
Some
doing
shit.
until you're doing like
No.
needles, you're good.
No,
You can
needles are
smoke a
alright.
little H and it's no big deal.
Not a big deal. But did you do drugs early too? 'Cause you're
I
both
was still a pussy with drugs, but we drank and a lot, and the town I lived in had the town right next to me had like 3 or 4 bars that let you in at like the age of 15. So like from
Mexico.
like I knew kids. It wasn't me because again I was like a little bit like I still respected my parents, but I knew kids going to the bars at like 8th grade. But by like 10th, we were like,
Crazy.
we had you go to this bar on Fridays and this bar on Saturdays, open bars, drink specials, we're doing shots. Like, so I had bar life for, by the time I got to college, people were like, ooh, we get to go to bars now. And I was like,
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
But I still, even to this day, like I smoke a little weed. I'm gonna have to get into mushrooms because apparently if you don't do mushrooms, you're a loser.
Yeah.
At this point, you're a
Really?
fucking dork if you
Well,
don't do
see,
mushrooms.
I feel like I need to work on my pot game
Yeah.
because I'm very good with alcohol, but my tolerance is not as high with weed, and I
Yeah.
always do
But
too
that's-
much and have
see-
panic attacks.
Well, yeah,
Now,
that
how
you
do
got to
I
figure out. But I
conquer
like having when you're young, you're like, I don't want to have a low tolerance. When I'm older, I'm like, fuck a tolerance. Like I want to be
Yeah.
able to like take a nibble of something. The other day, I took 2 hits of a joint and I was fucking zooming, and I was like, okay, next time it's gonna be 1.
One is a secret.
And that's it. Like,
One is a
and you
secret.
feel ridiculous because you got to either get it and roll or do whatever, and then all you do is hit it once. You feel like, all right, I'm gonna get a couple. No, just do 1.
I know, but see, it's not as gratifying as drinking because you know you
drinking
have
it's
more.
a whole
Yeah.
thing.
More, yeah.
What's your drink of choice?
I'm the lamest. I do
Wine?
just a Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, no, but even that's like, who cares? A white
I'm
lady drinking
such
Sauvignon
a
Blanc's a
dick.
tough look these
Yeah,
days.
such a
Not gonna
dick.
lie, you just see that and you're just like, bitch.
I'm very
But
basic
also,
that way.
like, fuck it. Like, I know. That's another thing when you're
Very.
younger. I'm like, I gotta drink like hard whiskey or
Yes.
something that's tough, and then by the end, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, man.
Well, 'cause you get
Give me
sick.
sangria.
Yeah.
you puke, and
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, I'm never drinking that.
Yeah.
Like, well, tequila I've gotten into in my
Older.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Tequila is one of those, those things. What's something that rich people and poor people both do.
Yeah.
Tequila is kind of one of those.
Really?
Well, think about it. You're either drinking like the brown like Cuervo with
Yeah.
the fucking worm in it, and you're like, a college kid or whatever,
That's so
or
funny.
you like figure out the Don Julios or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can do like tequila tastings now, where you're drinking
Yes.
like $100 shots.
What a great topic. Something that both rich and poor
Oh,
people.
it's my favorite. Because like
It's
cocaine's kind of one of them too, right? It's like you do like shitty coke on the
Oh,
street if you're
yeah.
a homeless person, or you're doing like high end coke in like
Yes.
the penthouse.
Well, I just had at someone's fancy house Frito pies. I guess those are coming in. Like that's the portion I ate growing. You know what I'm talking
Frito
about?
pie?
A Frito.
Oh, you
no.
don't. You take a bag of Fritos and a can of chili, and you dump the chili in the Frito bag. It's
Oh,
the
I
most
fuck
white
with
trash.
that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
yeah. I now that
the
you say it,
bag?
I have heard of it.
And then
yes.
you just eat out of the bag.
Like it looks like diarrhea.
Guess what we're doing tonight?
So
I'm on a chili kick right now. I'm gonna just put some
You
Fritos.
are?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, white people love chili.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I get very like obsessed with like I'll eat chili for like 3 straight weeks now. Like I just get on something and then I eat it till I'm
Get
like,
her face.
yeah.
I do that too, but not
Chili.
With chili. Do you shit? Then do you?
No,
have
I
diarrhea?
also when I eat like tacos a lot, or I don't get like that. I don't know. My asshole just
so
is,
Really?
is weathered and veteran by now. It just like knows what it's doing.
I basically don't have a solid bowel movement from
Really?
like, once the fall starts. Yeah.
Why?
it's just chili and fucking
It's just chili.
Yeah.
Man. It's chili and whiskey is all I do in the winter.
Your fucking ass is like as soon as the weather turns, your asshole's like another. Back in the trenches, here we go.
Dude, my ass is like fucking Westeros. Is like winter is coming, boy.
Can I tell you the thing I finally figured out? Well, I don't know if you travel a lot, but you ever take like those early morning flight dumps in the airport?
Yes, those are the best. Dude, airport dumps are the best, bro.
The best and the worst for cleanup. Anyway, you can buy wipes in the airport and then use those. I never thought of that.
I think airport bathrooms are pretty often like incredibly clean. I think
Yeah.
airport bathrooms, and if you're ever in a pinch on the highway, don't do the rest stop. Get off, go to a hotel lobby.
Oh, that's a move. That's a great life hack.
Yeah, follow the lodging signs.
Wow.
What room are you in, sir? The bathroom. I'll be fine. That's a
You gotta
good
walk in
one.
like yelling the place, 'cause
Right,
they will
just-
be like, "Can we help you?" Like,
Give a wave to concierge. Keep it
That's a
moving.
good safe haven toilet. There is a safe haven I had. Bookstores, when those
That's
existed,
good, yeah.
were excellent
Yeah.
places to take a public dump.
Yeah, I feel like not a lot of people are blowing that up, right?
Not a lot of people blowing it up. Not
You
a
walk
lot.
in, you're like, hey,
But actually, I would
jacket
disagree
off,
with
hang
that.
it.
I would think and maybe it's because I'm not a coffee drinker and I don't really understand
Oh,
the
yeah, you're right, you
culture.
drink a lot of coffee.
I think a lot of coffee
What?
drinkers in bookstores.
Yeah. Yeah.
You drink coffee?
Well, I'm dumping out.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
time. And the irony is Starbucks has the worst bathrooms.
Yeah.
But they
Right.
create
Well,
a product.
There's a lot of homeless guys
In New
masturbating
York,
it.
you go to a Starbucks bathroom, you get ready for war.
Yeah. Well, I'm so I'm so in love with New York that every time I come here, I'm like, hi, everybody, I'm here. Like, I'm just smiling.
How often do you come here?
Oh, every few months.
And
I
how
do
long do you
love
stay
it.
for?
Like 3 days.
Yeah,
and then I'm
that's
out.
it.
No.
That's it. Yeah.
But I used the restroom over at the pizza place on the corner, and that was dicey as
What?
fuck.
What?
It was like, it
Why
comes-
couldn't you? When did you go? Come here?
I'm such because I wanted the real deal. Like I wanted to pee where the guys with the yellow vests pee, and I heard them talking and doing the thing, and then I
want to
love
sit on their
it.
piss. You know?
Yeah.
To sit right on their piss-covered toilet.
Yeah, I love it. And then I walked down the street and some guy was like, "Bada bing!" And I'm just like, that's so great.
If you came like a little bit closer to the pandemic, this like block was dicey. I mean, there was just like needles in arms of like zombies walking around, and it was like, whoa. I thought this kind of shit was only in the movies, but like, or fear mongering on the internet. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, that's real. They're right there. They're right there. They're right there.
Philly's the worst though.
Yeah,
Philly's
Philly's
still-
the night.
Philly,
Philly's
yeah.
like
Philly is
Walking
like
Dead.
everyone's on like what perk 40s, whatever they call them, like something like that, and it's like it is. It truly is. We had a show there. We did a show at the Fillmore, I forget, and then we dropped some stuff at the hotel, and then went to this bar, McGinn's, I think it's called, and I was walking alone. And it was just like, it truly was. Like, everyone was a zombie. And then some dude stopped me, and he just goes, "Hey, man, do you have $5? And I was like, "No, I don't. I'm sorry." He goes, "Come on, bro. I'm about to shit myself." And I was like, "What are we going to do with the $5?
Yeah. It's not a good
How's that
selling
gonna
point. Yeah. Well, my friend Rob Eiler had a great idea. He's like, there should be like a membership club for New York City toilets where you pay a premium and you get to go to the bathroom in like
yes.
the greatest toilets in
Right,
New York
right,
City.
right.
I'm like, that I would pay for that.
I think a friend of mine had the idea for an app that maybe not like so much of a paid one, but just like an app that we like a Yelp, but
Yes.
for toilets,
Yes.
so you know like where the good ones are.
That app, I think your friend stole that idea. It's Curb.
Oh yeah.
It's
it exists?
No. The Curb Your Enthusiasm. George's character. When we did the season where they
Yes.
they have the Seinfeld reunion. George's character got rich inventing an app,
Right.
Because that's something he talks about in Seinfeld, where George can
Right.
he just knows off the top of his head clean toilets.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
in the Curb reunion season, that's like he became like a billionaire off that.
My
app.
buddy,
That's great.
my buddy took a
So
shit on
funny.
the George Washington Bridge. There's a bathroom, like a little porta potty type thing on the George Washington Bridge, and
So
like
special.
but I got a couple friends who I don't know, they just shit all the time, so they kind of know like all the spots. Like if like there was a period of time in Murray Hill where they were kind of like that. They're like, you go here, you go there. But he was also he ran track for Columbia, and that's on the Upper West Side, and they would run over the bridge. And one time he was running, had to take a shit, and there was a bathroom. I was like, I can't even imagine how disgusting a bathroom on the George Washington Bridge is. But I
Oh
think it's
my
kind of the
God.
opposite. I think it's actually clean because
'cause no
not
one
many
uses it.
people are using
Right.
it. Yeah,
Who's
so
going to
it's
stop on a bridge?
at that point,
I've-
you shit in your car, man. I don't know.
I've had one time where I had some real bubble guts on the bridge, and
Just shit off the bridge.
I
Hanging ass over?
I luckily got off and took the exit. This is at night, and I just like went into the woods. But I had a plastic bag in my car, and for some reason I shit in that
In the woods, in the bag.
and then like at the end I was like, now I just have a
Tie
bag
it
of
off
shit. Like,
Yeah.
why I just shit in the woods?
We're talking so much about disgusting things that I did
I
not see
know.
coming with you, but I love it.
Really? Oh, man.
My buddy, he went to NYU and I went to Fordham, so he came up to the Bronx. We had like a night of natty lights and fucking pizza and all that shit. And then on his way back downtown to NYU, he starts getting the bubble guts and everything. And he was like on the subway being like, I'm gonna shit my pants. And he's like walking back, squeezing it. Gets to his dorm, and NYU, your dorms are like skyscrapers,
Yeah,
high
right.
rises, and the fucking elevator was out.
No.
And he lived on like 13 or something like that. And he fucking started running up, and I think he made it into his dorm, but then he shit in the bag. Like he just held a bag back there. It was like so close, but
I got a
you
bad
know when you
wilder.
get close enough, your body
It
just is
knows.
it's like we've come far enough. It's coming out now, dude.
Yeah.
And that actually is sneaky the best too. when you're like, this anxiety's gone.
It's over.
Yeah, I got.
I'll deal with the
my
cleanup.
pants are full of shit now. But like,
The
at least I'm
surrender.
not stressing about this anymore.
Yeah. The surrender.
It's almost surprising, at least for me, like I'm always, I'm commuting in and driving the kids around or whatever, and I have not shit myself or had an accident. You would think that just in general more humans would get caught where they're like, I'm an hour away from home and like I gotta fucking go, and there's no. I guess if you find a Starbucks or whatever, but I just think more people would be shitting their pants.
Oh, I do it about as often as Christina comes to New York.
Quarterly thing, and you love it. I'm shitting again.
Wow. You have kids. You were the one
Yeah.
talking about. You're like, what? Your kid blows the standardized testing. You were talking
Oh,
about that?
my kid got a 0 the
Yeah.
other day on some standardized testing shit. Rhyming.
Yeah. That's what you guys were talking about.
And
That was so cute.
matching sounds, which I would imagine is like you hear a sound and then you have to say what
Like-
animal makes that noise or what.
Oh, right.
I don't know. I'm
right.
only guessing. But like phonetic learning was the section. And he got a 10% because he got
Yeah.
20% and a 0. And I was
yeah.
like, well, I guess we're going to work on rhyming.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, because I was listening to that, and our son Ellis, they called us from school, and they were like, Ellis flunked his eye exam. He needs glasses. And we were like, God damn it. So we had
That's
to take
the
him to the
worst.
eye doctor, and the eye doctor is like, no, he has perfect vision. We're like, he just
He's just
felt
an idiot.
like, yeah, he was just like, fuck you, I'm not doing it. Done. And I'm like, you shithead. Like, so just
That's
know,
so much better though than having a little kid with eye issues. That
No.
sucks.
Just so you know, though, it's normal. Like,
Oh, I don't
our
give a
kids
fuck about any
below
of
it.
that, like-
and like, why the fuck are they testing kids in like pre-K
It's totally
or whatever?
nuts.
You're like, dude, they
It's-
can't even wipe their asses.
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
they're
It's like
not
Mike. We
people.
just
Yeah.
got out of shitting pants.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about phonetic
No.
learning right now. Like,
No.
we're all set.
Standardized tests are like I think they're considered one of the things that ruined the American education
Oh, it's
system.
terrible.
But like I remember like, in Massachusetts we had the MCAS, which is like teachers like drilling you like it was North Korea about it, like because the teachers then like lose their bonuses if like we don't do well on the MCAS.
right.
So it was like we learned nothing interesting and just like how to do math basically.
Yep.
And I was like, this sucks. And I was in 5th grade, so like pre-K, whatever Keegan is
Yeah,
in,
I mean,
that's
forget
fucking
it.
nuts.
Forget
It's so
it.
stupid. But then because you do get like a number, I truly don't give a shit. But his mom and grandma's, I told my mom that he didn't do well, and she was like, well, like fuck that test then.
Yeah.
she goes
I love when
hard.
people get
My grandma
mad.
will like murder. You say
Yeah.
anything even remotely bad about the kids.
Yeah.
Like the other day, he got a report card and it said like satisfactory, which is like good, it's fine.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, why isn't it? Let me talk. Let me talk to the teacher. Let me talk to him. Like, you're not gonna talk to the teacher, mom. You fucking psychopath. But I mean, yeah, it all starts so goddamn early
It's
with this
so
shit.
early, and like, my kid in 1st grade, the reading level is bananas.
Yeah.
And like the math, I can't. Well, you guys were talking about that.
can't do
I
the
can't
math.
do for. They were like, put the addend in the place, and I'm like, what the fuck's an addend? Addend? I don't know how to do math. Like, I don't know how to do any of
And,
it.
and think about like how when it's like 7th
so
grade,
bad.
we're gonna be like,
Oh
I
my
definitely don't know
God.
what I'm doing anymore.
know,
It's
and
like the one I was doing was like, what is 7 plus 5? And it's like, how do you work that out? It's like, I don't know. You just know that 7
memorize.
plus 5 is fucking
No, but now they're like,
It's
you do
12.
5 plus 5, and that's 10.
10
and then you
add
add
2.
2. Like,
It's
why?
like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's
But I think
kinda
that's what the
stupid.
Asians do.
That it is.
Is
and
that
they
what the
are-
Asians have been doing?
I
That's their
believe so.
secret. So I think if you start drilling it into society, we get super smart.
Wait, do we seriously take this from the Asians?
I think so.
I'm
almost
We're
positive
either being
that's it.
super racist or super accurate. It's
Yeah.
one or the
No,
other.
but they're,
or maybe super racist accurate.
they're super superior, though.
Yeah. But they
It's
also
okay.
like, I think they're like, we got to do that because that's how the Asians do it. But the Asians also do it like 100 hours a week, and like their parents.
Right.
Now we're being racist.
Yeah.
And their parents beat them if they don't do it all day long. So it's like my kids, do other shit. I have no concerns. Like I watch my dumb son on his 0% standardized test can do shit playing video games
Oh,
that
I
I'm
know.
like, I don't even know how you know how to do this. You are brilliant as far as I'm concerned. He's
Oh
fucking.
my god.
And my daughter's like memorizing lyrics and singing songs and all this shit. I'm like, I don't care what any of your
No,
tests say.
they're
You guys
fine.
are good.
Well, they're fine, and you think about it too. Like at least the people we associate with, who of us like went to Harvard. I don't know. Are you guys like Ivy Leaguers? No. Like,
we have a guy here who did go to Harvard, and it's usually like whenever he tries to talk shit, we're like, yeah, well, look where you are, bud.
Yeah.
You're right next to us. So, a lot of good that did you.
Right,
But yeah,
like,
I
the
mean,
most
I think
brilliant
more and more and
people
more
are-
of the world is like, we don't need that
did
shit.
Joe Rogan? I don't even know if Joe went to.
I love we go the world's most brilliant people. Joe Rogan.
I think he's
Joe?
brilliant. He's pretty fucking successful. Like,
Yeah, that's a great
I
point.
don't
It's like
care.
Yeah,
I
I don't
success
know.
is the measure of
It is
what
for
should the
me.
successful people
For-
be doing.
I don't know
That's what we
anyone
should be
who's
doing.
successful or interesting who went to a good school, and that's just because of my friend group.
like I just don't know anyone.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we just hang out with dumb people, guys.
Well, I wonder. I mean, you do wonder, like, in terms of a good life, is it necessarily getting A's and
No.
going to Ivy League schools? Like, I
Well,
don't
your
know.
world is,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
crazy. Your family, you're one of the most successful families in the goddamn world now.
Really? Gosh.
Yeah. You guys are fucking rich as shit. Both have like thriving careers, and as far as I know, you're both pretty dumb, probably.
Yeah, totally. I don't think I broke 1,000 on the essay.
Yeah, fuck it. Who gives a
Like,
shit?
really, I
Yeah.
goofed standardized testing all the time. They
Yeah.
thought I had a learning disability in 5th grade, and I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe.
My mom-
Maybe
Maybe
I
I did
should.
dumb.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
My mom got me tested for being mentally challenged multiple times. like she did it
so genuine.
She-
You were so sweet.
She would love his mother. His mother is the fucking best. And just the thought of Polly being like, "Is my son retarded?" And then like a couple years later, being like, "Is he still? I don't know. We got to try him again."
The doctor's like, no, he's good, and she's like, ow, run the test again.
Run it back. He's
Why-
really a handful. Run it back.
Why did she think you were retarded?
I don't know. I think I'm so stupid. She's like, there's got to be something wrong.
But your skin is really nice. It is
It's getting
so
fucking
good.
nuts how I'm getting a little offended, to be honest, because we hear it. This is like the third time in like 2-3 weeks. that we've heard
Really?
this.
People
Yeah.
come in and just like, you have great skin, and I honestly don't even know what
amazing.
great skin is, so I don't even.
Well, here's the deal, though.
He's so
He didn't
smooth.
wash his face for like 30 straight years.
Like I said,
then-
I had a British kid tell me, and when I was in high school, I went to boarding school, and so we had like kids from all over, and a kid from Britain with a British accent said, if you wash your face, that's how you get acne. And at the time, I was like, Europeans are
Yeah,
like
accent,
smarter, and so from like age 13 to like 6 months ago, I never touched my face with
So
with a
he
soap.
never washed his face. He washes his hair once a month. he was like, but he's not. So he should be like a grease monster.
Yeah.
But he's weirdly not. He also doesn't sweat. He doesn't have body hair. He's an inside-out cat. None of it makes any sense. And then like 2 years ago, Whitney Cummings came in and said something about it. Right?
She was like, you have to. She's like, she really
just said you have
really
to.
leaned into me. She's like, you're disgusting.
Really?
And then I said,
And so he got a routine.
if someone we had like, I was like, if any dermatologists are listening or whatever, like, send me a routine and I will start doing that to clean
He's
my
also
face.
a little gay, so like, so we got all the
My mom got me
creams,
tested
lotions
for that,
and shit.
too.
Yeah.
Gay Lord.
She was like, run the test again.
Is he retarded? Is he gay?
Gay and retarded. Those are my pronouns. How'd you know that? That's what I identify as.
But yeah, then I started doing it, and
And
I
now,
don't know,
ever
people-
since he's done that, which
Wait, so
I
you
assu-
have been washing your face?
Yes.
I have been.
So
now.
when you
Yeah.
stopped washing your face, did you get acne?
No, I didn't. So like that's why I was like, this kid must be right.
Yeah, it was weird, but
That's
it was not even like a
weird.
stop. It was like because he was so young. It was like most of his life. It was like, for the last 15 years, he didn't wash his face.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Probably since
And
from
the hair is really crazy because you got a lot of hair, and I know you're not supposed to wash every day, but whatever.
Yeah.
But like once a month, that's a little wacky.
And it's very luxurious. I
Yeah.
saw you when you took off your baseball cap. You did one of those. Like,
Yeah.
Can we do it again?
Yeah,
Just
you
may
bet.
I? I
Yeah.
mean,
Look at that. But it
It's
seems like you
ridiculous.
should probably like rub your hands through it and get like grease on you, but it's
Yeah.
not.
no,
you're not grody.
No, it's very
No.
strange.
I don't know why.
I wouldn't chastise you because if it's working,
Yeah,
that's what
fuck
I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
right?
It's kind of like this,
Don't-
this being smart thing. It's like, I don't know, am I successful? Then who cares if I'm fucking smart or not?
cares?
Yeah.
What am I
The
start reading
results.
books now?
It's like it's like the same thing about how much do you weigh? I don't know what the number is. Do I look good or not? You know? Fuck it.
Exactly. And like, yeah, does anybody even read anymore? Like, I don't even think
That was
they
such a genuine
read
question.
books.
Does anybody read anymore?
I stopped
Well,
reading in middle
It's
school.
just podcasts.
Well, yeah, that's right, but I'm serious. Like, I don't think people really read
Reading.
whole books anymore.
I'll say I read about 4 books a year probably.
And what are they about?
It's more like 2.
He's like, "Boo."
No, because I'll go on a run where like I'll read like 1 a week.
Yeah.
Do you read or are you audible?
No,
You
I read.
listen?
Yeah, I'm like old. I'm not even on a Kindle. I need like the book in my hand kind of
I
deal.
like that too.
But like I probably read like 3 books this summer, and I'll probably read 1 more at some
I
point.
always want to read
Yeah.
more.
But
and
usually,
then it's just so hard and boring and time. It's the time consuming.
It's time
Like
consuming. Yeah.
everything else in my life is like so hectic, and then it's like I'm gonna sit down and block off like 2 hours where I can read like 11 pages.
It's not gonna happen.
It's gonna take me a
Especially-
year to read this thing.
If you have kids.
someone
Yeah,
broke
forget
it
it.
down for me this summer that if you read 25 pages a day, you'll likely read 25 books a year because the average book is about 250 pages. And I was like, all it takes is 25 a day.
But
Like,
that's one of those things. It's like all it needs is like 8 minutes of workout a day. It's like
Yeah.
if you do fucking 8 minutes of abs, you're gonna be dying. You know?
Well, here's the truth of it is. Remember where we used to all read? In the shitter.
Yeah.
Right, now,
So if you just put your books in the
put your
shitter,
phone out there, put your books in there. Yeah.
because I'm just scrolling now.
Yeah.
I should be
It's
reading.
bad.
I don't even read my phone when I'm scrolling. It is. I just say it's like a fucking thumb treadmill. Like I'm not even reading anything. I'm just like
Just looking
doing
at
this,
it while
just
it
looking at it.
goes.
Like I'll occasionally like
God.
see a picture that draws my interest. I'm like ooh, open the
Yeah.
picture. But like
We're getting dumber
I
and dumber.
scroll Twitter all day every day, and I would guess I actually read 10 tweets.
Yeah.
What?
I don't.
What are you looking at?
Nothing. I'm
hearts
like basically cross-eyed. I'm just like, like one of those
That's
Philadelphia
funny, just, like,
zombies.
There's just shit coming out of you. Where you're like, drooling.
I was gonna try it one more time.
Yo, I'm hoping our boy Elon makes Twitter like the new
Dude, if
the
I
new
hear about that
hotspot.
fucking dude buying Twitter one more time, it's
Yo,
all that's on Twitter.
I know.
They now the thing is that so he's wiping everybody out. He's firing everybody,
Yes.
and it's a huge chunk of their verification team right before the elections. I'm like, first of all, these elections don't count.
Right.
They're like the ones that are for the nerds.
Yeah.
The big one,
Yeah.
We'll worry about that one in a couple of years. But it's like, what, do you think he was going to buy the company and not do anything different with it?
Yeah.
Twitter is notorious for underachieving and sucking. Of course he's going to do it all different.
My thinking is if you put a paywall up, you're just gonna lose interest. No, like you can't do something for free and then put a paywall up.
Yeah.
The only thing is I think there's a lot of people who are full-blown addicted.
Oh, really?
I think if
Still?
I would almost stop out of principle.
Well, that's funny you say that because like Barstool's heavy Twitter because we're dumb. And we put all our eggs in that basket a long time ago. And so I'm like, I need Twitter. But yeah, you're probably right. A lot of people would be like, I'm already on TikTok and shit, so fuck it. But
I'm so
the people
into
who
TikTok.
are on Twitter though are like
They really love it. For me, it's such a scary negative.
yeah.
I can't.
No, it's
I can't
terrible.
Stomach
But
it.
It's
I
like the as horrifying and like bad for you and trolls and all that shit. The good side of it, I think, is like wildly interesting. Like you have access to like Elon Musk and
crazy.
fucking Kim Kardashian, people who like unfiltered access to them, just like their thoughts, And it can be funny, and it's like we all came up writing, so like Twitter was kind of like little micro writing,
Oh, yeah,
But
that's your
and then
joke.
Instagram, we were like, you have to be like a hot bitch to do this. Like we can't do this. Let's stick with Twitter. And then we never did anything after that. Forget about it. If you can't do Instagram, you can't do TikTok, and if you can't do TikTok, you're dead. So I don't know. Just kill us. Take us out back. Put a bullet in us. We're done. But yeah, that's funny you say that because I'm like, oh yeah, I'd pay $8, but normal people
You
are probably
would.
like,
Okay.
yeah,
so
I'll
then-
definitely do it.
I don't know that I would.
So I'm hoping.
I'm not verified, so I wouldn't pay for verification.
Oh, I don't care. See, that's what's also funny. The people talking about the literal check need to go kill themselves. I always had a check. No, everyone's gonna have a check. Shut the fuck up. I think the other stuff's interesting. Like they said, your search results and replies and stuff, you get like prioritized. So like, remember how we used to say like if you went viral, you like got a lot of followers and
Yeah.
and that all kind of disappeared. And I think now it's like if you are a part of this, like it weeds out like the bots and the stupid people, and this is like a user who uses it a lot, so you'll be at the top of like search results, you'll be at the top of the replies. That kind of stuff interests me more than like the check is like I swear to God, if aliens came down and saw the debate that was had this week about a literal fucking piece of punctuation, kill yourself,
I
man.
know. I'm trying to think of what I would pay. Like, whose tweets would I want to see again that I would pay for?
The most
So are you on it at all?
Not really. I post, I get
But
out.
you are
and
on it,
I'm
but you
just
don't
like,
even. Yeah,
"Bleh,
yeah,
I
you're
don't
smart.
read shit.
Super
I don't want
smart.
to know why I'm
But
canceled.
TikTok and Instagram, you are like.
Bro, the talk is my jam.
Yeah.
And it's not for the
you
reasons.
do. Yes.
I like
But you
the-
made the TikTok like part of your like. I think it's interesting the people who don't work in this industry who literally are just like, it's like, what are you doing? At least we can kind of disguise it as work. You know what I mean?
I like
you do a
that.
duet and you're like, oh, I'm done for the day. It doesn't work, you know. But it's like you can get caught in there and like, what do you do?
Well, I like
you
the
know?
weirdos. I like
Yeah.
the outliers. That's what's.
Yeah.
It's to me. I like the human circus, and that's always what I've enjoyed about. I like Instagram too, but that's more like hot chicks too. I
Right.
don't.
TikTok is when it first started, it was like 12-year-old girls dancing
Yeah.
and freaks.
Yeah.
We had a guy here who
Freaks are
kind of
the
does
best.
what you do. He weeds. He's a connoisseur,
Yeah.
a sommelier of the freaks, and some of the
So
shit that's on there, man.
It's
is like,
horrifying.
it
It's horrifying.
truly is.
I like it.
and it's also so.
I remember he sent me one once where it was just like
The guy with the arms.
the arm. It's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what
and
I
he
was.
flips it
and they-
around and around.
Yeah,
I know
you
that
know.
guy.
You know, like
I
she-
mean, not
she- you-
personally.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if you
Yeah.
know him.
I could
It's
play
cool.
this
Yeah,
game.
you-
Like,
I mean-
let's go. What else you got?
and I also love the stupidity, like there's just like these cops who are like trying to sing and look sexy, and it's like you're
Ugh.
fucking so dumb, man.
So
Like middle
gross.
America, just morons and creeps and weird. Do you know the Reborns?
No.
The people who have the dolls.
Oh my god.
Oh
this is-
yes.
They're
Yeah, I
like
just
to
found
replace
it.
their dead kids.
That's horrifying. But
Yeah, they're very lifelike dolls because they went through like a tragedy
That's
or like lost a baby.
terrible.
But then they like post these like. And
you
it's
have
fucking
yeah,
terrifying.
those are very scary. Okay, here's the app we need to do. Okay. So you think you're a model. And that's like the app, like you get these guys who are like what you just said, like I think I'm a model,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
you get them to like really be cringy and horrible.
And we're all laughing at them.
That would be pretty.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Like to really bring out the real
How
narcissists.
mean would
and
that
the
be?
assholes.
You have a team of people being like, "We're gonna get you modeling gigs, man. You're gonna be on the cover, and it's just some guy posting for just us to laugh at."
It's always the men that do it, where I'm like, oh, it's
Flex.
like, yeah.
the lip lick. Remember that? That was it for
Bite, yeah, the lick and the bite.
Or yeah, or like a be sexy app, like where you're your sexiest.
That's what
That
was
would
the
be-
craziest
that
thing
would be
about
fucking
TikTok
amazing.
was the kids. We ended up Dave, the owner of this whole thing, has a podcast with Josh Richards, who is he's probably like 18, 19 now. And he actually has like a functioning brain and is going on to become like an entrepreneur and like smart. But when he started, he was like a 14-year-old kid, and he's skinny, so he has like a six-pack because he's a fucking child.
Yeah, no
and
fat.
he was, floppy hair, fucking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we were playing, fucking basketball and riding our bikes and like throwing rocks at cars and shit. We're jerking off to porno mags.
I know.
You're like,
It took
I gotta
such
go
a
home and
turn.
make-
It was like we were riding bikes, playing basketball, throwing rocks at cars.
the good old days. And this guy is like,
you
I'm
went
all
from
sexy.
childhood fucking regular things to felonies like that.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
But like that's sexy. Like I can't imagine being any sexy at all.
I know.
But certainly not when I was like a 13-year-old boy. The girls, I get it. That's you're all. That's just how
But
girls
even
work.
as a comic, like I don't like it's so far from my existence
Yeah.
to be like, you know what I
The
mean?
face
Like
and
like
when you see
really
like
into it, I'm
13
like-
years old in the 90s versus 13-year-old
Oh my
now,
God.
and it's like tits are popping and their
Yeah.
ass is out and they make up and everything. I'm like,
it's wild because I was fortunate enough to grow up where like you could look at Shirley Manson from Garbage, and she was like my hero, but she was like kind of a grungy, like like tough.
right.
And there were tougher
Now it's
girls.
just like
boring, fucking boring.
Who do you think is like a good
female role model?
Female role model.
I did like Billie Eilish.
Yeah, she was
and then
kinda
she
cool.
kind of like, I don't know what she's doing now, but I know she went through a tits phase. I think she's back into being like a dumpy, boyish, asexual, I don't show my body phase, which I like for girls
Yeah.
more,
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Is
But I
there
don't-
anybody
Who's like rad right now? I like MIA. I think she's cool.
I mean,
I like Santi Gold.
I don't even know who that is.
She's
Santi Gold. She does there's one song of her. She's on like, I forget. She was on like one of the rap songs with like a bunch of them.
But like it's just not my
I
lane.
mean, Taylor Swift is a.
I think
stand-up
Taylor's a bit
chick.
of a fucking crybaby, honestly. It's like, you did this to me, and I'm a victim. And I'm
For
like,
sure.
Jeez.
But in recent years, I think she's turned that into being like a boss bitch.
Great.
There was a run where it was like, shut the fuck up, and now it's like, I run the world. Oh, okay, it worked.
I heard
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
she's-
here's the new one's great, so I don't know.
The new ones. I mean, I'm a big Swift.
Are you big
Freak.
Swiftie?
It's borderline. He's gay and retarded, so you know. it's borderline weird. I mean, he went to a Target the other day because he heard a rumor that she was going to be there. He hung out for 2.5 hours.
Really?
As a grown man.
Now, yes, really.
Don't play.
It was probably
I did it
close.
for work card.
It was content. There was I wasn't just doing it alone. Like I wasn't
Sure.
just there. There were cameras there, so it's a little different. Would I have just done that alone? No,
Probably.
Maybe
Maybe. If nobody else knew. If it was just a weekend day.
But see, that's the thing with this fucking job is I would have
Yeah.
done it to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like everything I do is I just do for this goddamn show.
I know.
Like I just do because I'm like, oh, it'll be interesting to talk about. It'll be
Right.
funny to talk about.
Right.
It is like I just do things and hope something disastrous happens, and I just
Anytime bad
put
shit happens,
myself
like,
in
yes.
precarious situations.
So it's gonna be so easy.
So yeah, I'll go do that. I'll just fucking.
So what's your favorite Tate song?
My favorite of all time.
Of course. I mean-
It's probably Blank Space, which is kind of a
oh,
cliche.
I know that
answer.
song.
Yeah. It is like it's one
What
of her
your name
popular songs.
was? Wait, sing it for me. Hold on.
That's some voice you got
Your
there.
name, Blank Spaces. Do I sound like her?
That's it. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Mirror
Nailed
Ball
it.
is also very good.
How does that one go? Go ahead.
Mirror Ball is
Sing
You wouldn't know that
No,
one.
just
That's-
sing it though.
Uh,
Please, let's hear your best tune.
I
yeah.
want you to
Let's
know
hear it.
I'm a mirror ball.
I'm a mirror ball.
It is. I used to think I had a good voice, and
See, if you sing along with the song, you think you sound good.
Yeah.
And then if you can somehow hear yourself isolated or like play back,
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
have you ever played that
So
game with your
bad.
friends?
that's the meanest thing in the world.
We
No,
used
this
to
is the
do. We
meanest
used to
thing in
get
the
we used to
world.
get drunk, and you put on headphones, and you put them on full blast. But you have to sing the song, and then
Oh
we
my
like video
God.
you. And
I would love to do this with you
just
guys.
sound-
I would do so bad. You sound like a deaf person.
It was so much.
bad.
Have you ever seen that video on efuck.com?
No.
There's a deaf woman fucking.
No, please, no.
It-
no.
Deaf woman having sex.
I don't wanna hear it.
Oh, I'm not gonna do it. Heavens
Okay,
no.
okay.
But it's a deaf woman having sex.
Out of all
and-
the shit that you see,
Yeah.
you can't watch a deaf person fuck?
It makes me sad. I think
Oh,
I feel
okay.
sad.
yeah,
That's fair.
I mean, she's enjoying herself. It's not like.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You know, people who have functioning ears make weird noises when they're getting fucked.
That's
so
true.
It's all ugly sounds.
That's true. And
What do you think is the weirdest
people.
thing you've seen so far?
From like your mom's house and
Yeah.
everything?
What do you guys call it? The what segment?
Heavy.
The heavy
the
segment. So, your mom's house plays these
It's-
heavy segments, which I love because when we started blogging, it was like 2000. I started in 2009. Boston, the website started in like 2004. So we always call that Internet 1.0, like the good days of
Yes.
like it was just like sex, drugs, rock and roll on the internet. No,
Yeah, it
no
was
rules,
so
no
good.
laws. Everything was funny. Nobody was. There was no fake video.
No one
There
was
wasn't
sharing
about
opinions
clout,
back
no
then.
opinions.
Yeah.
It was,
It was
just
just like
fucked up videos.
It was just people getting injured and like
Yes.
naked people and crazy shit. And you guys have brought that back with your mom's house, where it's like we're gonna watch people get like stabbed to death with screwdrivers. And stuff.
Well, first of all, let me clarify. So that's only on the live show, where
Right.
people pay money,
Right,
because they
right.
won't let us show that stuff on YouTube, and that's
Right.
the heavy segment. So at the very end of the live show, we do
Right.
the heavy segment,
Which
so
is just good old fashioned violence
just
and shit like
fucking
that's
amazing.
fucking.
And that's like guys putting screwdrivers in their penis,
Yeah.
and
Ugh.
stuff, and like
we
stapling
once
their
made.
eyes.
It was me and the guy we wrote the blog together, and he.
I miss blogs.
Yeah, me too.
It's a
Me
good
too.
time. You're right. I just
He
put my leg
he
up.
started working with us, and so he was like our intern, and we sent him a link, and we were like, as an intern, you gotta watch this video.
Someone had sent it to Tip's email.
Yeah,
and it
someone
was
sent
like,
us a tip and it was like, this is really fucked up, like,
Yeah.
because that's how we would blog videos people send us, and we were like, we're gonna have the intern like screen it almost first and see how bad it is. And the title was Russian man gets stabbed with a screwdriver.
Oh.
And we were like, you gotta
On a
watch
bridge.
it first.
Stabbed to death on a bridge.
And we were like, so
Somehow
how
makes
was
it worse.
it? So how was like, how'd it go? What was it? He was like, it was a Russian man getting stabbed to death on a bridge with a screwdriver. Exactly what you think
It was a very accurate description of the video.
So the odd thing is that because I'm also desensitized to the early internet, like two girls, one cup, and then what's the guy when he sat on the glass and it went up his ass?
Goatsy.
Goatsy.
Gautier is
the band.
Is the guy who did somebody that you used to know. Just dropped one
not
heater
bad.
on us and left.
That's a good jam.
Yeah, it's great jam.
Glass up the asshole though, like
That was
there's
seminal.
just so much blood. It's just so much pouring
work.
out.
Like, but what a pure work. And I feel like ever since then we've been chasing that dragon.
Yeah. It's like smoking
And-
heroin when you're 15.
Yeah,
whatever you say, you know?
You're never gonna get that high.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not the gore; it's the ones that get in my head, and I think about these guys for years.
Yeah.
And the one guy I think about, there's a few. Well, there's Robert Paul Champagne who lives 2395 apartment 2C, Wagner Houses. He's right here. And what is it called? What's the neighborhood? Not Jamaica, whatever. Anyway,
Queens?
yes, he's in like a whatever. Anyway, his whole thing was like he was in a darkened room and he was like, black guys from jail. I want to get fucked, man. Fucked a lot. Come meet me. And he's like, piss on me, beat me. I want to get fucked a lot, man. And he's like, I give you a lease and a key. Fuck me. I'm here, 2395. And he'd give out his address and his phone number. And we found this man on YouTube. Like, what is this? And we stuck with it for years. And finally we found him. And we called him. And now he's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
And like, those
I've
guys.
heard that name. I don't think I knew what his whole bag was, that he's just getting fucked by black guys in apartments.
He's like, I want black guys who are hot and who mean it, man. Piss on me, beat me.
And he fucks them.
Yeah.
Like he actually finds guys to do it.
Get guys in and out of jail.
Yeah.
He wants black guys who mean it and who
Fucking
will
pee
beat
on
the
him and
fuck
fight
out
him.
of him and piss on him and beat him. There's that
Everybody's
guy.
got their scene, man.
Everyone's got their scene. That's what we've learned on Your Mom's House.
Yeah.
And I love this guy who was like, if you want to see my dick go from just a little limp dick to a very hard dick, I will send you the video. He's like, he goes, all you have to do is smoke crystal meth. And he goes, and my dick got very, very hard. And it shot a lot of thick white cum. And then he goes, my brother didn't believe me. And then he jerked off. He came off in 4 strokes. Like he's jerking off with his brother, and then they come together. And you're like those types of
And
Four
these
strokes.
are posted by these guys, right?
Yes.
And they probably initially have like 11 views.
Yes.
And then you guys, like, you have producers and shit scouring, or
No.
people are sending them in because
Right. So
it's
much-
just like a crowdsourcing, right?
Yes,
which
much
is
like-
amazing when that starts that. Because
Yes.
then we got a little bit of that with Barstool, where it was like, hey, I got this video of like my uncle like throwing this fucking air conditioner at my cousin. You gotta post
Yeah.
it. And it's like we would never have gotten that, but we got big enough that everybody was like, send it to Barstool, send it
Yeah.
to Barstool. So you get these videos that were truly original or very, very few views. Like no one's seen it yet, you know? And it's like, we got it.
It's
Like,
gold.
yes.
But that's the success, I think,
Yeah.
of Barstool is
Yeah.
this
That was the
communal-
lifeblood, yeah.
Like, here's a video of a guy, jerking off with his brother. They smoke meth together, and they came in 4 strokes, and he has no neuropathy issues. And you're like, because I love reality more than the fiction, and that's
Right.
why I love like New York, where you're like, dude, that guy, all these people are crazy. New York, like, people are fucking wild.
You were on Andrew
Humans.
Tate really early, right? That was your boy like a long time ago, right?
Hello, yes,
Yeah.
we found him.
That was like your
Thank
claim
you.
to fame.
I would like to.
How long ago was that?
Take credit for Cobra Tate. So we debuted Andrew, I think, a little before the before the pandemic.
That's fucking.
We found him, and then we got really into him because his videos.
He's amazing.
He's amazing. I love him. He's got
such
this
a bad
swag.
person. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's be sitting in his apartment. And he's like, women should clean up unprompted. And he's just like looking dead in the mirror.
Accent, you know, it's
Yeah.
not. Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, right?
Dude,
What?
I remember seeing a bunch of videos, and it just like didn't even hit me until like the 4th video I saw. I was like, wait, is he doing a British accent in this video? Or like, has he had one in all of them?
Well, so I asked him, I was like, what is your accent? And it's a mishmash, I think, of a few things. Because he was born, I think, in the UK, and then he moved to the US, and he had moved around. So
Right.
that's the thing. But I like when he goes, the best time, he's like, I could put down my... He goes, I put down my credit card. It never gets declined. They always take it. And somebody wrote in the comments, well, yeah, because of overdraft, you idiot. Like, but what a treasure.
Great.
And I
he's amazing.
I
You
love
were like,
that.
you were like
love
when
him.
you first did him, weren't you? You were like, so Andrew, I'm a dumb bitch.
Yes. That was so great. And me being a dumb bitch, I wouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
But so when the
love him.
cameras were off, is he more normal?
He's
or
Andrew Tate, man.
Yeah.
Look, he's
It's how he rolls.
who he is.
Yeah.
And you know, I've got the jet fired up. I'm gonna go back to Romania right now. I've got the jet fired up. And like,
when
just
he,
wild,
I can't
dude.
actually remember if this was a parody or he actually said this, which is where you want to live on the internet.
Yeah.
But I remember a video. I'm pretty sure it was real when he was like, "Listen, you get on a plane and there's a Category 5 hurricane and you're flying into the eye of it.
Yeah.
Do you want the pilot to be a woman or a man?" And I was like, and the details of it, like, it's Category 5 and you're flying into the eye of it and you have a tiny plane. And I'm like, I would probably want that pilot to be a man. Sounds about right. And all with that voice, and like, the
he's so
glasses,
great.
and the like.
He's in great shape, and his suit is just, it's just perfectly glued to him. Like he is who he is. And do I agree with everything the guy says? Fucking
No, of course not.
But
It's an absolute asshole.
Yeah, let's just
But,
get
like,
back to a place where you
the
can
internet.
have assholes.
That was the
I don't
internet
care.
was like you were allowed to be an asshole, you know.
I don't care. I don't care what you think.
You know what the problem is? The people got too successful on the internet, because I do believe that there is a level where all of a sudden, if you're joking about like women being inferior, and there's a swath of dudes who watch it and like go beat their wives, it's like, well, we don't want that. We need it needs to just be like, everybody go back to just be cool.
Yeah,
be
right.
cool.
Just,
The internet can
be
just be cool, man. Like, I'm gonna be a ridiculous fucking asshole for your entertainment, but we can't have the morons over here take it seriously.
But were those swath of dudes already beating their
Right.
wives? It's the old like 80s Ronald Reagan era thing of like, well, is Ozzy Osbourne causing the suicide of children
Right.
because of his music, or were
Right.
those
We're just pinning
people
it on that
already?
now. Yeah.
It's always the chicken or the causal thing, the
Yeah.
egg. It's like
Yeah.
he's not creating.
Right. People are just listening to music and like fucking headbanging.
Well, yeah, like if not Andrew Tate, some other guy who's
it's always gonna be somebody.
Yeah, you're
You
looking
know?
for an excuse. Like, that guy said I can do it. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, Tom Lakis. He was a popular radio guy in Los Angeles. He was the afternoon drive guy. And his thing was more or less that same shtick. And he was a huge whale of a man, 300 pounds, and he's fucking disgusted and bloated. And he's like, I don't spend a dime on that bitch. We're going for coffee, maybe. And if she doesn't put out, get out, bitch. And everybody would call in and be like, and his catchphrase was blow me up, Tom. And at the end of every phone call, they'd be like, blow me up, Tom. And then he'd have like a sound effects board of like,
Yeah, sounds great. I love this guy.
it's so stupid. Or
Yeah.
like, take me out, African tribe style. And they'd have like African tribal people. It was so racist singing like, Maringe, Maringe. And he's like, dump that bitch. And he just told guys to dump their bitch. And it was the fucking most entertaining radio.
That sounds eerily familiar to our advice.
Yeah, we had a run.
Is that what you tell people?
we
We
tell
had a
people
run.
it's not just girls. But it's like we have like we have like voicemails and callers call in, and yeah, there was a stretch where like it was
Early,
like,
so we've been doing it for like 10 years, and it all started with people would call in and leave a message, so it wasn't live,
yes.
and then we had a run for like 5 straight years that, but by accident, like we would start talking about, my girlfriend is like, she's fat or she doesn't like shave, and like, so what do I do?
Fucking
And we
dump her.
would like but we would be honest about it, and we'd like talk through all these other different ideas, and then we'd all inevitably be like, nah, you know what? Just fucking dump her. And then we'd be like, we did it again. We did it again. All we did was tell a bunch of like college kids for 5 straight years to dump their girlfriend.
my favorite one, and I still think this was accurate advice. My favorite one was we had a guy call in. I think it was a husband calling in about his wife, and he's like, "Look, she has this like thing. She has this picture of a boat that I fucking hate.
Oh, yeah, I
but
love
she
this guy.
wants it in the kitchen." And I just let her put it in the kitchen, and every day I see that picture, and I'm like, that fucking picture, I hate it so much. And I was like, we were like,
Divorce her.
Look,
Yeah.
it's gonna,
Divorce
her. Like-
it's gonna end your relationship.
Yeah. It sounds crazy, but divorce her now, because 10 years from now you're gonna just fucking like throw the pic. You're gonna hit her with the picture.
like that
Just
picture
dump her now.
is going to fracture your relationship. and I
we
think
were-
it is. I think it probably would have.
We were very big on.
I'd like to follow up with them.
The preemptive breakup is what we coined it, where it was like, just fucking pull the ripcord now, man.
Yeah.
Like, why go through another year?
Yes.
Or sometimes multiple years people do this, where it's like, deep down this shit's over, bro.
It's over.
And you're gonna, either side, either guy or girl, you're gonna just suffer through this.
So
just
true.
Fucking be done.
Because I do think it takes about a year before you actually break up with
Yes,
someone.
Yeah.
because if you have any sort of like empathy or sympathy, where it's like, I don't want to just like blow this person's
Yeah.
life up, I'll just like kind of sit through it. But it's like, you're ruining your own life, dude.
It's so, I know, and especially when you're young and unmarried, it should be just dump that bitch, because there's a million other bitches on campus.
I think you should not be able to be in a relationship until you're 25.
That's an excellent idea.
Don't they say your brain's not developing, done developing until you're 25?
28.
28.
So then fucking push it back even more.
Yeah, dog.
Who gives a fuck? Like, I know you can't, obviously can't do that, but like, I'm going to struggle mightily when my kids are like teenagers crying over
my
a breakup.
God.
And I'm going to be like, go fuck another bitch, dude. like, I know you think this is a big deal, but trust me, you and your life are so insignificant right now. Like,
know.
nothing matters here, dude. Shut up.
When I had like my first serious relationship ended, I was like, not like, I mean, I wasn't a weepy mess, but I did cry a little bit, and I was like sitting sad at dinner one night, and my was describing the relationship and why it ended, and my mom just goes, "Sounds like you weren't a good boyfriend." And I was like, all right, I guess that kind of puts things in perspective. By the way, I was a fine boyfriend. I was like, I actually would say I was a pretty good boyfriend.
Yeah, I think as we've come to learn,
Oh my God.
we've both gone through some toxicos.
Yeah.
some at some point, there's a common denominator here. You know?
I've had some very good relationships, and I've also had like 3 exceptionally toxic relationships.
Like what?
Like
they were
suicide threats and
Oh,
like
no.
all that kind of
Pregnancies
shit.
and all
Like
that shit.
yeah, and I'm like 3's a lot. Like
Yeah.
I remember I was telling my therapist.
A lot of
once-
people only, most
Where-
people only have like a couple, like a handful of relationships, like their whole life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You have a bunch, but like serious ones, you only have like a couple, and you've got 3 fucking crazy ones.
I remember telling my therapist like about one of them, and then I was like, yeah, like I don't know. She keeps saying she's gonna kill herself, and she's like, whoa, just so you know, John, and I want you to understand this. That's not normal. And I was like, I don't think you've dated enough women to tell me this, Tiffany, because
I don't think
guess
you know what it's like out here in 2022.
it's about a 50-50 shot with me.
No,
it is right on the border of normal.
The stuff that I've got become like desensitized to, where it's like, all right, do it. Goodbye. I'll talk to you tomorrow. we'll fuck tonight. See you tomorrow. Like, get out of here. It's scary.
That's a lane.
Then the phones and the internet make things so weird and hard. And
Can you imagine dating now? I know you're married. I don't know. You're not married, right?
I'm not. No.
Yeah,
I'm,
I can't
I'm single.
imagine.
No.
Like Tom and I got together when like Friendster.
Yeah, right.
Friendster, bro.
right.
Like
Yeah.
MySpace had just kind of gotten cool. So literally, I don't even remember really
The apps
texting.
are crazy. When I got divorced, and I'm not even like.
Oh yeah, so
I
when
have
you get divorced, was it like your Rumspringa where you were like,
No.
I'm fucking banging, dude?
I had a run there, but
Yeah.
But so you had a few weeks where it was like, I was like, you're gonna go on a date again? Like you were doing dates.
yeah. But I never did apps though. Apps to me are fucking weird and a lot of work, and like people are like going on like 7 dates a week. It's like I
It's weird.
It used to be like, you go out like maybe like once a month on like a date, you know what I mean? Now it's like I got a afternoon date and a night date.
Oh my
and
gosh,
you guys
that's
are
so weird.
I always
Mostly
feel
chicks
so
looking
bad
for
with that.
husbands.
I'm such a pussy. Like if I'm like sleeping with multiple people, even though we're not dating.
Yeah.
I'm like I feel like
I shouldn't be doing this.
I feel so
Yeah,
bad. I feel like
yeah.
I'm a cheater.
yeah. I used to be like brutally upfront about it, and some people are cool with it, and I'd be like, for real? Okay, well, let's keep doing this. But then I'd be like, are you sure this is not how it's supposed to go? I just
I know.
like hours ago. You sure? Okay, all right, okay.
See, I'm kind of old timey like that.
Yeah.
Just the idea of like multiple dudes
Just dicks.
jizzing in you. Like, that guy just left, and now that I'd be like,
All right.
Jesus
But I have to
Christ.
talk to myself. I'm like, stop being such a pussy, dude. This is the way the world works now.
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
But if it doesn't feel right,
yeah.
then don't, because then you're just hurting yourself. You know?
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Like, I love it.
Hurting myself trying to please other people. John Feidelberg.
Nice to meet you.
You're a people pleaser. Yeah.
Yeah, we get rolled over all the
You're
time.
sweetie. Yeah, that's no good. The suicide is like, yeah.
Dude, I had one where she was just shaking the pills into the phone. And I was like, can you just not do that? Like, I was a camp counselor. I was like, I'm trying to watch the kids right now. I can't fucking deal with this.
Jesus.
And you know what? It sucks because it's like the guy who is like, I don't care, do it, goodbye.
Yeah.
They just move on from,
Yeah,
and
yes.
everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And it's the guys who are like, have a conscience or like, what if? Oh my God, forbid.
No.
Think about their family and shit, and then you get trapped for like your whole life. It's like,
I
fuck
always
that,
just-
man.
So true.
I think of it like fucking. I don't know if you know this story. It was in. They actually just did a Hulu show on it. But there was a girl in the area. I'm from Massachusetts, where she like convinced her boyfriend to kill himself.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite of what
Yeah.
is happening here. But
She got tried, right?
she got convicted of. I don't know.
Something,
she did,
not like
yeah,
the-
no,
not
it wasn't
the-
that big a deal,
yeah.
but like it was like
She was
2
like,
years in
she
jail.
was like, do it, it'll feel better. Like,
Oh my
the world
God.
will,
like he
remember
got
whatever
out of the
fuck it
car
was.
at one point and she's like, get back in. He did like the fucking exhaust type deal, and it was like, get back in the car. And like they were in like high school, but then she, like, because she was such a psycho, she then like started all the like GoFundMe's and like started like the rallies for him and his family and all this stuff.
Jeez.
And she was obviously doing it all for the attention. And I forget. And so my fear is that one day like someone's gonna actually do it, and then they'll look at their texts and it won't be like, you didn't do everything you could to stop it.
Yeah.
So I'm always like,
Those are the people we should be worried about, not the fucking, Andrew Tates of the world dicking around on the internet.
I mean,
the-
I don't know. I don't know if there's really a causal. People like to point. Does misogyny exist in the world? Yeah. Is it Andrew Tate's fault?
Right.
No.
Right.
He just galvanized
Yeah,
an
I think
audience.
it's far
like,
worse, the guy who's like, I don't know, like lives in fucking like Idaho and just like comes home and takes out all his fucking anger on the family. And I don't think it's Andrew Tate's videos that are causing that, But I guess if you can point to like,
know.
again, if anybody is doing that, it's like,
I mean,
it's a
there's-
dicey.
But there's a line. There's like, okay, so there's what's the line like with Alex Jones? Was that his name?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy who claimed that Sandy Hook didn't happen.
right.
And Mary-
But there's a basketball player in New York,
Crazy.
Kyrie Irving. In 1 week, he had to speak to the press and say, let me clear this up. I do believe that Sandy Hook happened, and I do believe that the Holocaust happened. In
The
1 week, he had to do that twice.
The Holocaust he was very vague about. The Holocaust, like,
He didn't admit that it happened?
not clear,
fully,
not
yeah.
like, no, he was like, they asked him like, do you believe the Holocaust is real? And he said like, I believe that is an important event to a lot of people.
Oh my God. Why do people like? What do you think that is? That
They're
people.
assholes. This guy particularly is just a rich asshole who wants to be viewed as a smart person. It's like, you're not.
Yeah, he's like
Shut
the dumbest
fuck
person
up.
alive who
He
wishes he was smart.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so. Or like the flat earthers, or like
He's a
why
flat
are-
earther as well.
That they seem to just go hand in hand.
Yeah,
don't
they really do. They really
Wait,
do.
why are you?
Yeah.
That's the cross you're dying on,
Right.
or whatever.
And
the
what's funny
word
is they
like-
all say the notion behind it of like, I'm not saying the earth is flat, I'm just saying that we should like examine
Yeah.
things and not just like be told like agree with everything you're told. Like that, of course, carries
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, no, I
Just
examined
don't-
it. I saw the picture.
Yeah.
But it's like just don't attach that to the earth being flat. Attach it to something else that maybe is a little more vague, not the fucking planet being round.
Right, because that's been proven
Proven pretty fucking hardcore.
lots of times.
A lot of times.
Yeah, we don't need that.
I interviewed the last living guy to ever walk on the moon,
Oh wow.
and I'm a dick about like I joke around about the moon landing being fake, and I said to him, and I joked about it so much that now when I actually got the chance to interview a fucking moon walker, I could not bring it up because my fans would be like, what do you know?
Yeah.
Now the chance and you back down, So I was just like, what hypothetically, would you say to someone if they told you that like the moon landing was faked? And I think you just said something like "shut the fuck up." He was basically like, I would call that person stupid, and I wouldn't dignify like anything further. I was like, okay. Anyway, next question.
That's amazing. Could you imagine anything less appealing than going to the moon? Or like
What a production that is, man.
yeah. Or just the Mars thing that Elon's into. I'm like, oh, you sit in a vessel for 3 years?
Yeah.
Would
I'm
you,
like,
would you
not
rather
interested.
be the first people
Oh my
to go to Mars or the last people?
I'd rather die on Earth,
Yeah.
honestly. Like,
Like-
I'm not interested.
Like be the last couple thousand people on the planet Earth. So that means like
Later.
everyth's kind of like, you're living in like
Dune suits,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Drinking my own fluid. Was that what you do in Dune? I don't
You're good on
honestly.
Earth.
I don't know, honestly, but if they built like some dope malls on Mars, is there a David Buster's?
Maybe a nice outdoor,
Malls?
outdoor outlet. Get some of last year's Pradas. Like, come on.
The outlets.
Is there a
Malls are
skating rink?
fucking fire, man. I feel
Yeah.
bad for people growing up without malls.
I
Yeah.
know.
It's like you walk around aimlessly and like.
Where you finger people now?
Where do you finger people?
Dude, you finger people at the movies in the mall. That's it.
Yeah.
Now people are doing none of that. Crazy.
I one time had a date at a movie when we were really young. I remember them Anywhere But Here was a movie. It was Natalie Portman, maybe Susan Sarandon, and it's a very sad movie. And me and the girl.
Very funny that you remember all these details. Because you're going to talk about fingering a girl in this movie, aren't you?
no,
Susan
no.
Sarandon's on stage and I'm fucking blasting her.
No, we were just kissing. But because the movie's so sad,
Oh my
she was
God.
like currently crying.
And you're making out with her?
and we're making out, so like, I could like taste her teeth.
Oh my god.
I was like, "Do you want to do this?" She's like, "Yeah, it's just the movie's so sad."
It's like, yo, I made her wet, guys. Her face was soaked.
Cancer movie. She's like,
Yeah, no, I actually think that's what it is. I think Natalie Portman's mom is dying of cancer.
Classic.
And I think even her mom had cancer at the time. Like that, so it was like,
oh my god.
it was her tears were justified, and she was making out with me. So like,
That's
really
another
nothing
thing.
in life was good.
I don't want to watch cancer movies or bummer movies. Like white people love bummers.
I watched one about
I only want to watch Fast and Furious. That's it.
yeah, for real. I watched one relatively recently. I was hanging out with this girl and she said she wanted to watch it and I'm like, okay, cool. She was like, I watched it like a long time ago, but I never finished it, sort of thing. So I don't know. I was like, you vouch for it, let's go. And it ended up being like this woman. I think Hilary Swank was getting Alzheimer's or MS or something.
Fuck
and
off.
then the girl from Shameless, Emmy Rossum, is taking care of her. She's kind of like a street tough, and now she's taking care of it. And they both teach each other these things, right? The very last scene is like she wanted to come home from the hospital and die, and her family was like, no, we're gonna put you on like ventilators and shit. And she was like, no, I want to like die my way. And she goes into the bedroom and she's like, don't come in here, like do not come in and save me. And she closes the door. I can't even talk about it. And like Emmy Rossum sits on the other side of the door and like listens to her take her last breaths and like gasping and crying and screaming. And she's like, don't come in there. And she doesn't. She waits until there's like silence, and then she goes in there and like holds her dead body. And I'm watching with this girl, and I am soaked. Like my shirt is wet, and the whole time I'm trying to just like hold it in, but I just wanted to be like. Like I wanted to scream and cry. Like, you bitch. Like, let's put on Billy Madison or something.
Oh my god.
Have you ever seen Paddleton?
Paddleton? No,
Yeah,
what's that?
it's with fucking Ray Romano and Mark Duplass.
Nah,
from the
I
League.
know.
And it's like Romano's dying.
bucket list sort of thing, right?
Jesus
It
Christ.
is, and he's dying of cancer, and like, but he wants to die his own way too. So
Yeah.
it's basically that's the same scene you just described, only he's in the room with him.
Oh my god.
It's like, let's just watch.
I like how you said it. You don't understand why people watch bummers, and then we proceed to tell you.
I know.
The two
I
most.
wanna hear
another one? Do you like scary movies?
No.
I read. Have you heard of Terrifier?
No.
It's a Serbian movie. I was like,
Oh, that's
boy.
real.
Yo.
And I read the
I
synopsis
don't even watch
of
Serbian porn, let alone fucking Serbian movies, dude.
Right, it sounds like
Anything
a
from the
documentary.
Eastern Bloc is
Look at that.
a little too heavy for me.
When you know the Serbs are coming out or Russian shit's going on, it's like, oh boy, it's just about to get heavy. That's funny. Do you you were on what, Road Rules, right?
A million years
From
ago. Yeah.
like the early seasons, right?
Yeah, season 6.
That was
Australia.
cool. You liked
it was
I
like
don't think I've ever actually besides Johnny Bananas, who's more like
Johnny
the,
Banana. I never met that
challenge.
guy.
You've never met Johnny?
No, because he's much later.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm.
But I just figured at
talking-
some point you would have like, I'm not saying you would be on the same show, but at like a reunion or I don't know, an event or something, you would have met him.
No, I'm long forgotten by that
Yeah.
dynasty. But season 6 was Australia, and
Australia was cool.
it was rad. It was
Yeah.
so, but looking back, so banal and boring.
Yeah.
I
Well, at
mean,
the time, it was like cool. I mean, Road Rules was like fucking like fantasy shit. Like
It's
you were
the
doing
best.
these like challenges across the outback
It's the
or whatever,
best.
and it was like this is wild,
And-
like,
and-
a crazy
and
way to
le-
live your life.
Oh, and legitimately dangerous too.
Who else was on your season?
So it was Peggy from the UK, Susie, the blonde girl, like the nice Christian girl,
Yeah.
and Chadwick, and Shane from Canada, and then Kifla and myself. And
Crazy.
it was, and they would have us, they'd pull us up to a crocodile farm and then be like, go ahead and sign this release form.
And you just do it.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, go ahead and sit on this crocodile and snap its mouth shut and put duct tape around. I mean,
But you would do
literally,
it all,
'cause I was
right?
20
Like-
years old.
Yeah.
You
You're not
did
even.
that?
Oh yeah, I sat on a crocodile. There's footage of it. I shut his mouth, put tape around it, and a real big fucking 6-foot crocodile in Australia, in the middle of nowhere. If our arm had gotten bitten
We've
off,
got a medic here. You'll
Yeah.
be fine. He's got like a tape, you know. He's got
Yeah.
like this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here you go.
I don't even know if they showed this.
There was one season a girl did flight I don't know what it's called. She walked on top of a plane.
Oh my
She was
god!
you go
Oh,
up in
yeah.
a biplane, like the you know, with the two wings, and you get out of your seat and you climb up to the top. I think, and then you hook yourself. But I think there's a period of time where you're getting out of your
That's-
seat and you're like not really strapped in, and then you stand on top of a fucking plane while it does loops and
That's
shit.
what Donnie just did.
He did that?
Yeah.
Psychopathic
Someone just did
people.
that?
We have a kid here as a show called Die Trying.
Oh, no.
He's gonna die.
He's gonna
trying.
die.
He does all.
He does,
swims with
like-
sharks and
Yeah, he's like swim with sharks. He
does
fucking
demolition derby driving.
Yeah.
All these things that are really crazy.
But yeah, he did the biplane.
He did school bus racing.
Oh my
He
god!
went to this like hillbilly spot and just dropped in and won it. And the locals were so mad. Like
Yeah, of
these guys,
course.
it's like their event for the year. They like
Yeah.
gear up for it. And he like dropped in with like cameras, like, can I film it? And he fucking won the race. And
Damn,
everyone was like,
dude.
fuck you, kid. great.
I did a demolition derby once. It is not fun.
That's
I,
not.
Jerking around
I
and
do
shit.
it, dude. It is like so. There are more rules than you think. Like you're not allowed to hit on the driver's side, but
But also, it's
But
like, I'm
also-
not trying, but maybe what if they do? You know? Like,
and they did.
Yeah.
Like it was, but there was one because like the cars are all so old and so beat to shit that like sometimes they'll just stall and they'll just stop. And I remember I was sitting there and I was just like, car was stalled, and just from like across the way, someone
Head of
fucking
steam.
lined me up, and I was just sitting there like, fuck, you can't get out of the car. That's more dangerous.
No, yeah.
So I was like, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. And the fucking dude just drilled me. And then you have like a stick that you snap when you're done, and then you have to stay in the car for the whole thing, but like you snap that stick and that lets
leave you
people know
alone.
like leave me alone. And like I mean I definitely had a concussion. I was like I was just like out of it, like pulled that thing and just sat there while fucking chaos ensued around me.
your family had a
scary.
rough fucking year with those injuries, right?
Yeah, Tommy.
You guys were probably having like the
They're
best
so
professional
dumb.
years of your lives while also almost dying.
Yeah, it was
Because you got hurt too, right?
Yeah. So my husband, during COVID, we were living in Los Angeles still, and he and Bert did a basketball dunking challenge because they're idiots, midlife fat idiots. And my husband broke his arm and his leg, and then
And he won the dunk contest.
Yeah, he won.
I want that known. He
Yeah.
fucking threw down, won,
Yep.
and was this close to dunking on 9.5 feet. He just happened to break every bone in his body in the process, but he won the dunk contest.
It was horrible.
I remember him telling the
Horrible.
story
Horrible.
about like when I think Bert hooked him up with like an ambulance type deal because I remember he didn't want to go to the like he went to a hospital and was like this hospital
It's
sucks.
a horrible story.
It was
we're
crazy.
so
yeah.
we're so dumb. This is how dumb we are. Okay, so Bert Bert calls me, or no, my husband calls me. I'm in an ambulance. I'm going to the hospital, but everything's okay. I'm like, no, it ain't. Where are you? And he's like, I'm in this hospital. It's terrible. It's
one of the
dicey.
last guys that you want. Like, he's so, like, he'll do anything to help, but he's also, I mean, he ran over and moved it right away. And all that
yeah,
shit,
Bert's
like,
retarded. So, like, so then my husband's like, I don't like this ER. It's dicey as shit. I don't want to have surgery here. Get me out of here. So the boys take him home. Bert brings him broken through our door. And then we should have just gone to a different hospital and called an ambulance. We took him home. We didn't know that you can get blood clots or you can die. Nobody knew.
How long were you home for?
The overnight, because it was now midnight and Tommy's home. And I can't leave because it's like I have the 2 children and whatever. COVID. They're not going to let me in the fucking hospital.
Right.
So we wait until the sun comes up and we find a private
And is he
driver.
just in agony at that point?
Yeah. And he has drugs and his arm was reset improperly. And then we take him to the doctor, the surgeon, the next morning. And he's like, why are you not in the hospital?
Yeah.
You need to go to check yourself into Cedars right now.
Yeah.
And then they finally did it. Bert took him to do all that. It was horrible. And then he went to a recovery center after.
Yeah.
It was.
He needs to do like major rehab.
Terrible. And he's still he had to have another corrective surgery on his arm.
Really? In the middle of this fucking tour that he's doing?
No, right before the tour.
Okay.
Because he wasn't getting feeling back in his arm. So they found a guy in LA who had done this surgery that he's only done one time before. It was so revolutionary. They took tendons from like one side, pushed it through the other, and now they're growing back. It's crazy. Yeah,
Dude,
and then
people who are that smart to figure that shit out.
I know.
It's like some doctor was just like, you know, the way like a chef is like, let me add some of this, some of that. Some doctor's like, let me put the tendons that way. Yeah.
I know.
And then how did you get hurt? You fell down the stairs or something?
Yeah. So then we moved to Texas, and then I fell down the stairs a month after we moved to Texas.
Tommy was a little.
Yeah.
Tommy had a couple.
Listening to a lot of Andrew Tate.
It was Andrew Tate's fault, damn it. No, I fell down
But you
at 2 in
like
the morning.
had like a it wasn't just like you broke something. You like fucked your shit
yeah,
up,
I
right?
I broke it in 4 places. My ankle, my leg, my upper leg, and everything. And I didn't even know I did it. Like, it was 2 in the morning. My kid was crying, so I was just like, I hurried down the stairs. And you know when your eyes kind of blur because you're going so fast?
Yeah.
And I just lost my footing, and I fell. And I was like, Tommy, get over here. And I'm like, help me up, babe, help me up. And he's like, oh. He's like, your bone. I was like, what? Fucking pussy, help me up. It was horrible, yeah. But honestly, like, not as bad as having babies. Like, because it took 8 weeks to recover. Like, 8 weeks of me laying around the house, boo fucking who. And then I just rehabbed the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And now it's fine.
Yeah.
Is that in Tom's new special that he talks about that, or is
Yeah.
that his new one?
He's taping it like tonight as we speak.
Oh, really?
In Arizona.
No way.
Yeah.
So how often
Crazy.
do you go up on stage?
Depends on the time of year. So right now I'll do Caroline's like this. I don't know when this airs, but
This would be probably early next week.
twice a month I go out
Okay.
to do stand up. Go out.
But
of
when you're
town.
home, are you like?
Not really?
Yeah.
Not really.
See, I love that.
I'm boring.
No, but I also love. I've been kind of thinking how funny some of these comics are who are like, I go up 35 times a week.
I know.
Tell the same jokes over and over
I
again.
know. But I mean,
It's
I've
like-
also been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah,
so
so
I
you
have
can
a
just kinda-
really good gauge now when I write it of like, I pretty much know how it's going to land.
Interesting.
I work it out a little more, but I know now.
And a couple comedy marriage works well.
For us,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean-
yeah. But I mean, like,
I don't know.
yeah, we're rich. We're I'll tell you this: successful comedy couples, awesome. But like, just I would have always thought that the like, because comics are competitive, and it's like who's the funniest, and whose joke is who wrote that joke, and all that shit. Was that ever
So-
weird?
Yeah, I think because Tom and I started together, like we both started as open micers. We both were in the trenches together. So like literally, I've known Tommy since day one of
Right.
stand up, and
That's
he's
cool.
known me since my day one.
Right.
So anytime, and our whole circle, like Ryan Sickler, Matt Fulcheron,
Love Sickler.
like just all the homies, you know, like we've always rooted for one another. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
kind of not like that with each other. I fucking hate other bitches.
Yeah.
But like,
These other female comics
Yeah.
just suck my dick.
yeah, but not my husband. Like we're on the same team, bro.
Right.
So
And
his
it's like,
success
my
is
bank
mine.
account too, bro.
That's what's up. We've always been like that. Like
Yeah.
whatever I got helped him, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
we've always like been a team.
And then doing the
Team
podcast
James.
together works. Like there's
That was
no
the
like
best.
friction. There's no.
No, I mean you guys, I'm sure have your days where you're just
yeah,
like,
but you know
fuck
what?
off.
we have our days where I'm like, I don't want to do this fucking podcast, but I'm rarely ever like, it's this guy's fault. But it does usually seem that like every comedy duo, podcast partnership, whatever, always like kind of meets its demise. I genuinely don't think we'll ever have that happen because we are two people who just care so little about life in general. I'm just like, I'm not gonna get mad about that. But there's so many other people that do. But as a couple, like a married couple, it's like you can't let that happen.
I think because we know each other so well, like we've been together for so many years, that I can tell when he's having a day behind the mic, even though it looks like he's not.
Yeah.
I understand that guy. I can see his eyebrow fucking move, and I'm like, he's furious right now.
Well, he's got some anger issues.
But that's like, but to the untrained eye, they don't know.
Yeah.
But I know, so I know when to
how to like.
I
run and hide and
or just like
fight back, get a stick,
or just like let him just sometimes shutting the fuck up is the best thing to do in marriage, or saying something or not, it's our dance that we do.
Sure
It's unconscious.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
but
then
no,
you get
I
fucking
love
rich
it.
off that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, his tour is sickening.
It's so
comical.
bad.
It's like he should never do comedy again after that.
I know.
He's done enough comedy for like 2 lifetimes.
It's really been
I would never
hard.
want to get on stage again. I'd be so sick of those jokes and the people and the pictures and the
it's horrible.
the after thing, the meet and greets and all that. Oh, his last one, he's gonna shoot the place up.
I know. I don't know how he's doing it. Honestly, I really don't.
When does it end? Do you know?
This is it. So he's doing this. He's taping tonight and tomorrow night, and then he's gonna have a long break, and then he goes overseas next year, which is bananas too.
I thought he would like take a break.
Who's gonna? Well, we're December. I know. And then their podcast.
I might take a break till December. I know.
But then we have.
And then you do the pod. I mean, and then
he has 2 bears
and the Spanish stuff too, right?
He's not doing Spanish stuff. That's the one thing we pulled back on.
I thought that was brilliant, though. Just like, I'll just go get the other fucking half of the world, Like,
it'll happen. I think once this cools off a bit, he can dedicate.
Does he just do his act and other podcasts? Does he do all new shit in Spanish, or it's just like the same act and the same podcast and stuff in Spanish?
It's different. It has to be different for cultural
right.
reasons.
You can't tell the same jokes.
It won't translate. But some of it is the same, but some of it won't translate. Yeah. It's crazy.
You guys are like
machine.
this, comedy fucking like the golden comedy couple. It's crazy.
So weird. It's honestly like I don't see it that way because we've always grinded. We've never not grinded, bro. Like when we were poor as shit, living in fucking the Rampart division, like we've always just by any means, homie, like
it's cool.
We would go out Wednesday night, work through Sunday night at the club, whatever week, come back home. We had 48 hours at home. In that 48 hours, we would say hello, eat, fuck, record your mom's house, and then go back out on the road. And then both of us for just years and years. And then I had our first son. It was 2015, and Tom had just gotten on Netflix, and I was like, we got to move out of this fucking dump. We lived in a house like as big as like a guest house.
Really?
It was tiny.
This was 2015?
2015.
That's crazy.
And I go, we got to move, babe. We got to move. And he's like, we have money now. We can. And I go, wait, we have money? What do you mean we have money? What's that?
What's money?
He's like, look at the bank account. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. What are we doing? Let's
go.
Get the fuck out of here, man. But for us, it's always been like, just grind, dude. And we've enjoyed the process so much. It's never really felt like work. And I know it's so trite to say, but it's never. I love stand-up and podcasting so much that this is it for me. I love
cool.
this.
And you can do it when you do it with your husband and Bert and Leanne and the people who like are kind of your family. It's like, because if you do it with coworkers, like you will burn out, you will crash and burn, you'll break up if you want to call it that. But when you do it with like your gang, it's like we can just talk forever.
Talk some shit, homie. Like talk real shit. And then you come to my house and we have ribs and like.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I will say with Bert, like, I mean, he and Liam really helped that night that Tommy broke himself. Like they were there, dude, at 2 a.m, just like. Well,
what do you think of their birthday gift? I've always thought the wives must be like, fuck this tradition.
That's so stupid.
I do think they just recently like declared like we're not doing anything crazy.
Yes.
Like we got to scale back a little bit.
Yes.
But as a fan, I want to just like, keep going. Like Bert brought Tom a fucking skyscraper for his birthday. Like, where could this go next? A fucking spaceship, you know?
I know.
But-
I think it was the race car was the last one. And
but
I
you
didn't
like
even-
that's enough.
I'd forgotten about it, and then Tom was like, "Let's go see my race car." I'm like, "Wait, what? You have a race car?" Yeah.
Well, it's good. To going from grinding to like I forgot we have a race car. Is
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
So,
I'm stoked.
awesome
Like,
stuff.
honestly, I wake up and I'm just like, I'm so happy that it worked out because
Yeah.
you don't know when you go into this business.
No, not at all.
There's
And
no guarantee.
And not working out in this business sucks. It's like you're just gonna live you're eating fucking cans of beans for the rest of your life doing your spots. It's like this could go one way or the other.
It sucks.
Definitely went one way.
But I will say to anybody listening that is a comedian and you're like, how do I make it? Anyone asks me, how do I make it? I'll tell you how you make it. Just grind, work as hard as you can, right?
Steal jokes. And
No steal jokes, but definitely grind and then have a business sense to you. Because the guys I've seen who haven't popped, and you're like, why isn't that guy popping? It's probably because they've neglected the business side of this thing. It's show business, dude, not show art, not show fucking friends. No one gives a fuck about you unless you make them, you know?
Right.
So anyway, there's my
And
fucking
then, I love
thing.
it. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
So you got shows for the comedy festival? Is that what it is?
No, I'm just doing Caroline's. I've never
Okay.
done it before. But I didn't realize is it in Times Square?
Yeah.
But I know.
I was like, that's such a rookie move.
No, but it's Caroline's on Broadway, so you're like, oh, I'm going on Broadway, but it's like, nah, it's right next to Applebee's. It's but it's a good
Fucking
good
Andrew.
room. Like we
Got
we've,
me,
we've
Russell.
done a lot of shows at Caroline's. It's kind of like our home spot here, and
Oh.
it works.
We'll do spots if you want to. Do you guys do stand up too?
No,
Nah.
we do live
Oh.
podcasts.
Okay.
But it's a good room. It is Times Square.
Oh my god.
Just run in and run out.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. And then I came to see you guys.
Love it.
Thank
we
you
really
so
appreciate
much.
it.
I'm
Really do.
so
and
thankful.
Tom and Bert and everybody's been so good to us, and
Yeah.
we were like, we got to get you, to check it off.
Well,
so
you guys are
gotta
lovely.
bring it.
We
Thank
love you.
Thank
I'm
you.
so thankful to be here. Thank you guys.
Dude, thank you.
Appreciate it.
We can
Yeah,
Make sure you subscribe to KFC Radio on YouTube to get all the video content. Subscribe, comment, like, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you know whenever new video content drops.
I want to say something, but the video has to be faster. That's it.